Welcome back. In this episode, I would like us to have a chat component that you'll be able to include in this dashboard of ours. And so I'm going to open terminal and I will run the command php artisan make vault. I want it to be a vault component, and let me call it chat component. It has been created successfully. And if I'm to just open where it is, we will open the folder resources, views, and then livewire. So inside here, down below, we have chat component. I have not created it inside a directory, so it's just like that. And as you look at it, it's a vault component and it has been created using the functional API. So I want to have HTML here for visibility and displaying our component perfectly. But before we do that, I also want to include it inside our dashboard blade. So inside dashboard blade where we have you are logged in, I want to remove the text. I just want to have livewire include the livewire component. So livewire, and the name of our component is chat component. We will save it. So obviously if we check dashboard, it's just some straight lines that are inside there. I want to do quick prototyping, and in this case, I would like to pull in a component library for Tailwind CSS that is called Preline. So I would like to just install it quickly because it's a chat bubble component that I would like to use in our application to just save us time of doing a lot of design stuff. So I have run npm I Preline and it has installed Preline. The next thing that I'm going to do is to open the tailwind config.js file, and inside here I would like to add the Preline JavaScript. We will not be doing so much on that, but let me just do it. And then of course we will also require the Preline plugin. So I can be able to add it where we have plugins below here. So one of the plugins is forms. So maybe I can just push this one down like that. Then you can separate them with a comma and just paste the next thing. Basically, we can be able to now use Preline inside our livewire application. So let us go ahead and now get the chat bubble. So besides here on the side, after you have clicked on get started, you have the components, and what I want is these chat bubbles. So we have something that looks like this. And I would just like to pick this one-sided such that we can be able to use it. So you pick HTML, and then I'm going to copy everything that we have here actually. So you copy everything, and then I'm going to paste inside our chat component. So you scroll to the chat component, and inside here where we have the div, I'm going to just paste everything that we did pick from the Preline website. So basically we have something that looks like this. I think it doesn't look bad. I would like to keep just 2 of these. So this last one I would like to remove. And still the styling is not that good. Probably I can be able to do some padding. So maybe here where we have it, we can say padding over 4, such that it will give some space on the edge. And I think that looks nice. So after that, I would like to just clear some of the things inside our chat application, because we will require to have just the name of the person who has typed in the chat, and then we will also have their message. So I have the unordered list that we have here. This one I think I would like to remove it, such that whatever it is that we have remaining up here are just these 2 things. So here we can put the name of the person, and this can be like the message that they're typing. Then we can also do the same for this one. And since that one is just one statement, maybe what I can do is to because this is a paragraph, I can just add another paragraph tag, whatever it is that you're having here, and just have sort of like whatever it is that you have as the message for this specific person. So let me just paste it there and see how it looks. There's something like that. We can be able to give it a class of text white, not gray. So just delete, just say white that way. And so I think that is okay. We can have it that way. And then of course this last card, I would like to delete it completely. So this other chat bubble, the whole of it, I would like to remove it. I use save. So basically we have something that looks like that. I would want to have an input here where somebody will be able to type in a message. And let me just go and check an input group component here. There is actually a video where I have talked about Preline in a little bit of detail. In case you do require to go and check that one, you can check it out and see what we have there. So I'm looking for inputs, input group. And I think I can be able to just pick something that has a button in front, like whatever it is that we have here. So let me just view the HTML and just check which one it is actually. So preview. So it's like the second last. So you view HTML. I will scroll downwards until the second last button. I think this is the button that we are having. I'm going to copy it. And then we can paste here. Let me see how it looks like. The send will be at the end here. That will be a little bit funny, but I think I might just leave it like that. So let me have a class, a padding of 4, just to push it from the edge. Let it just be like that. We will type and click here to send. And then we want the message to display here. So let's just have it like that. After that, I would want to give functionality to whatever it is that we have. I will scroll above here, and what I want us to do is the first thing that we need are messages. And so what I'm going to do, inside here, we will loop through messages. So we will pick the messages from the database. And in this case, the design of whatever it is that we are doing, all the messages can be viewed by all the users. That is how it is. So let me import the models. Use app models message. And what I want us to do here is now to use that model to be able to have a property called messages. So in this case, I'm just going to, since we're importing state, I'm going to just say state, and then we can have it like that, and we can say messages, and then we can set it to an empty array. So at any particular moment, it will be set to an empty array. But we can populate values using the mount function. So I would like to add mount. So here we type in mount, and inside that I would like to have the mount function. And inside here, what I want us to do is to get messages, all the messages, and set them to our property. So in this case, we can say this message to refer to the value here. And what we want to do is to populate it with the messages. So in this case, we can call this message model. So we can say message all. That will fetch all the message and populate inside this empty array that we have created. So after that, we can go ahead and list all the messages. So inside here where we have the unordered list, I can be able to have for each loop, we can say for each messages as message that way. And then what I want to do, the reason why we did so, the end for each should be towards the end of this thing. So where we are having, yes, somewhere here at end for each. So after that, we will actually be able to look through all the messages. And I want to make a differentiation between whatever is a displays for the currently logged in user and the other users. So what I want to do is if the message belongs to the current authenticated user, I would like it to display using the last chat. So this one here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just use an if function. So if directive at if, and we can say, we can get, if we want to get the user ID of the message, if we are to check in our database under messages, you can see under messages we have the user ID. So in this case, we can be able to check it using message, this value here. So message user ID, like that, message user ID. And if the message user ID is not equivalent, so in this case, we can check it like that. So not equals to the auth user ID. Now, whatever is that will happen is that the message will be displayed using this format. So in this case, the grayish format. So we can say at else, like that, and then now the other one will be bluish. So the current logged in user, their chats will be in blue color, and then the other one will be in just the gray. So then we have end if, and just to try, I want to just type in inside this database table. I just want to click on insert and then type in a user here. So I will just type in a message. We can say hey, and then the place where we have the user ID, we can put the user ID of 1 and click go, and to see what happens, if it will be able to display that message. Not yet, it's not displaying the message. So what I want to do is to just attempt and see if we are using app models message, and then we are setting the message. It is supposed to be messages. That is where I have the mistake. It's supposed to be messages because it's plural, not singular. I think that's the reason why it was not showing any message. Now you can see we have something that is being shown, but not the actual message. So inside here, what we can have is that we can be able to have the name of the user who has typed in the message. So in this case, I can say message, and we can use relationship to just say message user name, like that. And then after that, then the value of whatever it is that we have here to just be the message. So in this case, we can say message, then message, because we are storing it in the variable message, but the value that we have inside our database is actually called message. So you can see the column is actually called message. So that is the reason why I'm referring to it like this. And we will be able to copy this and also put on this other section. So both the two, so the question or the chat and the user. So basically be able to put it here. So now if we are to check, now we have a user called Jairo Morissette has said hi. And I would just like to create another one from another user. So I will click insert. Now we are going to say user with ID of 2. Maybe this one you say hello, and then the ID is 2, like that. I will click to create it. And now if we refresh, now you can see there is a response. But the person in bluish is the person that is currently logged in. Then these others can be any other person. And remember, the way this application is fashioned, anybody can be able to view this message. So if they log in, they can be able to see all the chats that have existed. So it's sort of like a group chat or something of that sort. I want to do something on our input, and we give it functionality. After we do that, I think we'll be done, because the next episode now we will be talking about broadcasting, and then we will also set up events. So I want us to go to our input here, where we have the input. So the type is text and every other thing. I want to add here wire model, and we are going to set the wire model to message singular. So whatever it is that our user types in, we will call it a message. And then now once they type in and click on the button, we can have wire click, and we can set it to a method called save. So that will be that. So I need to declare another property, which I will call message, now singular. So you have another value here, which I'm going to call message singular. And then the value, we're just going to set it to an empty string. So it will be that way. We can refresh and see. So that is it. But remember, I have not given the functionality to the button. So if I click on it, it will give us an error because I've not been able to create a method called save. That is what I want us to create now. So here we can be able to set a variable called save, and that effectively will be the method that we'll be working with. And so here we are going to have a function. Maybe let me call it send. We're going to have a function, and inside here is where we are going to place in our whatever it is that we want to do. So I can go ahead and just in our message model, I think there is something that we did not do. We did not allow for mass assignment. So here we can be able to just say protected fillable. Then we can set it. We can set the values. We need to have the message, and we also need to pass in the user ID underscore ID like that. So that will be fine. We can go back to our component and save this new message. So we open the chat component, and inside here, what I want us to do, once somebody has typed in, we can be able to say call the message model and say create, and inside here we can have an array of values, and the first thing that we need to have is the message, and that we can refer to this message, and that means we are referring to the message property. And then of course the next thing that we need is the user ID, and because somebody has to be signed in to be able to interact with this application, then we can just set this to the auth user ID. And so this should effectively save a newly created message. So I want to try and see if everything is fine with that. I want to type how are you and click on the button, and it says the method save does not exist. I didn't change it down here. I changed the other one to send, and this one here I did not change. I forgot. So we need to have send. I want to refresh again. Oh, it's already refreshed, so we can say how are you like that, and click on the button. And of course, because you have not been able to reset, we cannot be able to know whether it has sent or not, but I want to refresh, and you can see we have how are you. So after creating the message, I can be able to reset here and say this reset. You can be able to pass in the message like that, so it will reset once we have sent the message. But as you can see, still there is no effect of it being real time, but that we will do in the next episode. So maybe we can say why are you silent? When I click there, it sends it, but of course we have to refresh to be able to see that message. So basically that is that. In the next episode, we will look at events, and we will look at broadcasting, such that we can be able to now make our application now function the way we intended it to function. Thank you very much for following this tutorial video up until this point. If you like the video, you can give it a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed, please consider subscribing. And if you have something that you'd like to comment about, a question, a compliment, whatever it is that you would like to say, you're welcome to shoot in the comment section. Thank you very much.